Tell me your craziest 1 in a million story, something that happened to you that you just can't believe was real.
Every time I look in the mirror, the story stares right back at me. You see that bump on my head? Right there? Well, it was 2012 and I was out of town for work. And inexplicably, passed out. Slammed my head on the pavement. Blood everywhere. I get rushed to the hospital. They do a CAT scan. There's nothing wrong with me. They stitch me up, put some gauze on my head, and I go back to work. My boss takes one look at the hematoma and says, "You can't work looking like that. Go home." So it takes me about 5 hours to get home. And I find my wife in bed, very ill, almost unable to move. I rush to the hospital. They do a CAT scan. They find a brain tumor. They say if I hadn't gotten there within hours, she would have been in a coma. They do emergency surgery. They pull a lemon-sized tumor out of the right frontal lobe of her brain, precisely where I hit my head.
Tell me your craziest 1 in a million story, something that happened to you that you just can't believe was real.
So my dad always wanted a son. He just kept trying, and he just couldn't give up. I have 3 sisters. He kept trying. And then there was me. I was finally born. I wasn't supposed to be born on the day that I was born. I think my due date was earlier or later. I forget. But my dad, the day that I was born, he had to cancel work. And the day that he had to cancel work, he had a security meet on the 101st floor of Tower 1 of the Twin Towers. And I was born on September 11th, 2001. So my dad didn't go to work that day, and he got a baby boy. Oh.
Tell me your craziest 1 in a million story.
Okay, so you may think I'm going to say getting stuck in Greenland during a pandemic, but I'm not. In the summer of 2016, I got a Facebook message from a stranger telling me that my great-uncle's plane had been found on a remote side of Mount Kenya. Obviously, I thought it was like the new Nigerian prince scam. But it was true. My great uncle was in the Air Force in World War II and had gone MIA. No one knew what happened to him. But a poacher on Mount Kenya at 9,000 feet stumbled upon this plane, and it turned out to be his. And the British Army was trying to get in touch with my family so that they could have permission to remove any remains from the site because they were doing an expedition up to the site. So I asked the British Army if I could go with them and film the whole thing, and they said yes. So I went on an expedition with the British Army up a remote side of Mount Kenya to find my great uncle's plane that had been lost in 1942. We got lost in the bamboo and almost died.
Tell me your craziest 1 in a million story, something that happened to you that you just can't believe was real.
So back in 2013, I was a senior in high school and I opened the back door for my father and I ended up fainting and hitting my head on one of our doorknobs that's like this shape. So I had a seizure and I had to go to the hospital the next day anyway for a cast change. And I just went to sleep. I woke up the next morning and I was unsure of who my mom was when she came to wake me up. And then I went to the hospital and didn't really know my name or my birthday or anything. They admitted me, and then over the next several days, I continuously just lost more and more and ended up having severe retrograde amnesia. And I lost the first 18 years of memory. I'm now 25. I remember everything since then. So I have 7 years of memory in a 25-year-old body.
Tell me your craziest 1 in a million story.
Ooh, yes. Okay, this one's for me. So my parents were getting their house redone in about 2012. So they hired a contractor, a family friend of ours, and they had to blow the wall out in the kitchen. So about a few weeks into the project, I get a phone call from him, which is like super weird. I don't live there. And he's like, I need you to come down to the house. I found something. Oh, shit. I don't know what that is. Anyway, so I get there and he had found this. Now, that's me going to Tokyo on February 13th, 1996. Now, I have never been to Tokyo. No one in my family has been to Tokyo. I don't know anyone who's been to Tokyo, and that was in the wall, in my parents' house. And I'm not telling you what year I was born, but I would have been really young.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock.